Okay, so my budget is balanced. My emergency fund exists. I'm not in overdraft. I cancel the subscriptions. I meal prep on Sundays. By every single metric, I am doing the thing. So why do I still wake up at 2 a.m. thinking about money? If that's you, if you've done the work and you still feel behind, still feel anxious, still feel like one unexpected bill away from chaos, this episode is for you. Welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. This is season 2, which means we're past the basics. Season 1 was about building the foundation: escape funds, budgets, debt, side income, negotiating your salary. If you haven't watched it, it's all there. But season 2 starts with something nobody talks about enough. You can be financially responsible and still feel financially terrified. Those two things can exist at the same time. And there's actually a name for it: financial anxiety, not financial crisis, not financial disaster, financial anxiety. The low grade, persistent background hum of money stress that doesn't go away even when the numbers are technically okay. A 2024 study by the American Psychological Association found that money is consistently the number one source of stress for adults, above work, above relationships, above health. And here's the part that gets me: it doesn't go away when you earn more, it doesn't go away when you save more. For a lot of people, it just shifts. You stop stressing about debt and start stressing about not investing enough. You stop stressing about the overdraft and start stressing about whether your emergency fund is big enough. The anxiety finds a new address. So before we do anything else in season 2, before we talk investing, before we talk taxes, before we talk building wealth, we need to talk about this. Because if your relationship with money is built on fear, the strategies don't stick. Let me tell you about Sade. Sade is 26. She works in marketing, earns a decent salary, has a budget she actually follows, and 6 months ago, she finally hit her emergency fund goal. 3 months of expenses saved. She did everything right, and she still checks her bank account 4 times a day. She still feels guilty when she buys coffee. She still lies awake doing mental math on hypothetical disasters. What if I lose my job? What if my car breaks down? What if the rent goes up again? Sade isn't bad with money. Sade is anxious about money. And those are completely different problems with completely different solutions. Here's what I want you to notice: Sade's anxiety isn't coming from her bank account, it's coming from her nervous system. Her brain learned at some point that money is dangerous, that not having enough is a threat, and threat responses don't care about spreadsheets. They care about pattern. And Sade's pattern is money equals stress. The budget helped, the savings helped, but they didn't fix the underlying pattern. And that's what we're going to work on today. Financial anxiety doesn't come from nowhere. For most people, it comes from one of 3 places. The first is money scripts. Money scripts are the beliefs about money you picked up before you were old enough to question them. Things like money is always tight. Rich people are greedy. Talking about money is rude. You have to work yourself into the ground to earn a good living. You learn these from your parents, your community, what you saw growing up. And they're running in the background of every financial decision you make. If you grew up in a household where money was scarce or unpredictable or a source of conflict, your nervous system absorbed that. It learned that money is something to be afraid of. And that script doesn't automatically rewrite itself just because your bank balance changes. The second is comparison. We are living in the most financially comparative era in human history. Instagram shows you someone's vacation. TikTok shows you someone's investment portfolio. LinkedIn shows you someone's promotion. And your brain, which is wired to measure itself against the people around it, they is constantly doing the math. Am I keeping up? Am I falling behind? The problem is you're comparing your full picture, including all your private struggles, to someone else's highlight reel. That comparison is not fair, and it is exhausting. The third is uncertainty. The economy is genuinely unpredictable right now. Inflation happened, interest rates moved, job markets shifted, layoffs hit industries that felt stable. And for young adults who are trying to build something, that background uncertainty is real. It's not irrational to feel anxious when the rules keep changing. The anxiety is a reasonable response to an unreasonable environment. Knowing where your anxiety comes from doesn't make it disappear, but it does change how you respond to it. Okay, so what do we do about it? I want to give you three things that actually work. Not toxic positivity, not just think positive about money, actual practical shifts. Number one, scheduled money check ins. One of the biggest drivers of financial anxiety is the feeling that you're never fully on top of it, that at any moment, something could be wrong and you wouldn't know. The antidote to that is not checking your account 4 times a day. It's having one designated time per week, 20 minutes, that's it, where you look at everything. You check the budget, you check the balances, you check what's coming in and out, and then you close it and you don't look again until next week. This sounds counterintuitive, but what it does is train your brain to trust the system. The anxiety spikes between check ins because your brain doesn't know if things are okay. A weekly check in tells your brain, we looked, we know, it's handled. Over time, that reduces the background hum significantly. Number two, separate your net worth from your self worth. This is a mindset shift that takes time, but it's foundational. Your bank balance is not a measure of your value as a person. Your debt number is not a reflection of your character. Your salary is not your worth. I know that sounds obvious. But for a lot of us, especially those of us who grew up where money was tight, there's a deep, unconscious equation between financial stability and personal value. Being broke felt like being a failure. Spending money felt like being irresponsible. And those feelings didn't disappear when the numbers improved. Start noticing when you feel shame around money. Not guilt, shame. Guilt says I did something wrong. Shame says I am something wrong. Guilt is useful. Shame is not. When you catch shame, name it. That's shame, not fact. And then look at the actual numbers. Number three, build a buffer that's just for breathing. This is practical. On top of your emergency fund, which is for genuine emergencies, consider building a small breathing buffer. Not a big number. Maybe 1 month of expenses. But this account has a different job. It's not for emergencies. It's for the anxiety. When Sade's boiler breaks, she uses the emergency fund. But when Sade lies awake, catastrophizing about what if something goes wrong, just knowing that buffer exists is what lets her go back to sleep. It's not about the amount. It's about the feeling of having space. Financial anxiety spikes when we feel cornered. A buffer, even a small one, removes the corners. So what happened with Sade? She didn't overhaul her finances. She changed her relationship with them. She set up a Sunday evening money check-in, 20 minutes, budget, balances, upcoming expenses, done. The first few weeks, she still felt the urge to check in between, but she held the boundary. By week 6, the 2 a.m. math sessions had dropped significantly. She started a journal, not a feelings journal, a money facts journal. Every time anxiety spiked, she wrote down the actual facts. What's in my account? What's coming in? What's going out? What's the real risk here? 9 times out of 10, the facts were less scary than the anxiety. And she built a breathing buffer, a small separate account, 1 month of expenses. She named it Space, not emergency fund, Space, because that's what it gave her. Sade's numbers didn't change dramatically. Her nervous system did, and that changed everything. Here's what I want you to take from this episode. Being financially anxious doesn't mean you're bad with money. It means your nervous system is doing what nervous systems do, trying to protect you from a threat. The work isn't just in the spreadsheet, it's in learning to tell your nervous system, we're okay. We have a system, we check, it's handled. Season 2 is going to go deep on investing, on taxes, on building real wealth. But none of that works if you're operating from fear. So we start here. Your action for this episode is simple. Comment the word breathe below, and then tell me, do you do this? Do you budget, do the right things, and still feel stressed? I want to know I'm not the only one. And honestly, I want to know you're not either. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Hit that button. Season 2 is just getting started, and every episode builds on the last. I'll see you next week.